Then I took a smidge and applied it down there.
This one's wife. Queen of Freebies. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. It is often instructive, given what we now know about this one's wife, to look back upon some of her behaviours from a number of years ago. That's why periodically I post some of my older videos about her to enable people who perhaps didn't access them the first time around to enjoy them, but also to enable those of you who had watched those videos in the past to look at them again in a fresh light, in light of further disclosures and information that you have about this one's wife, so that you can see this existing information in a new light. As you've increased your understanding of her behaviour, as you've increased your understanding about her narcissism, it is invariably instructive to enable you to go back and look at these videos and say, well, I remember this when it happened first time around, and I didn't really pay much attention to it. But now, armed with the knowledge that I've acquired, I see this rather differently. Very interesting indeed. And as part of that, I have revisited an article that arose in the Daily Mail some 7 years ago, because it shows once again the nature of this one's wife and how that was on display all of those years ago, and provides me with another opportunity to explain to you how her narcissism works and how it was on display all of those years ago. The article was written by Siofra Brennan and was headlined Queen of Freebies, how this one's wife was once very fond of luxury gifting suites where stars are showered with products. Now, most people like something for nothing. Of course they do. However, when you're in a public position, there are instances where you have to exhibit a degree of discretion, that you have to be circumspect, because in some instances these freebies could come back and bite you on the bottom with regard to a lack of partiality. It might be also that they come from organisations which might not be said to fit with other aspects of your life, that they might be contradictory to certain stances that you've taken in support of, say, certain philanthropic aims or charitable outcomes. It also presents the possibility that the organisations and individuals behind giving a freebie expect something from you, and it puts you in an invidious position, leverage-wise. Here, this enables us to see the somatic nature of this one's wife's narcissism, namely, she is driven by the material, that she is an individual, that because she has a sense of entitlement, she expects to be given stuff for free because she sees herself as special, that she has no accountability for her actions, that she sees nothing wrong with basically taking freebies repeatedly, and furthermore, that it demonstrates the lack of class that she has also, in that she runs around grabbing as many freebies as she possibly can, even though she might not necessarily needing them, because of the greedy nature of her personality, driven by her narcissism. The fact is that as a somatic narcissist, this one's wife wants to be given stuff for free and expects stuff for free. Free flights on private jets, free accommodation, free entry, free invitations. She expects to be paid for doing certain things which are public service. I can't believe I'm not being paid for this walkabout, she once said in Australia. And therefore we can see that, consistent with her narcissism, this grasping nature of this one's wife, always in it for the grift, always wanting something for nothing, was around even a number of years ago. The article explains, as a potential future princess with a role in a hit TV series, which she balances with running a glossy lifestyle website and humanitarian work, It's understandable that this one's wife is one of the hottest properties in showbiz. Well, that was rather overstating it, but there we are. But before she hit the big time, this one's wife had to resort to less edifying ways of getting her photo taken. The Suits actress, 35, as she apparently was back then, was at one time rather fond of the celebrity gifting suite, events where stars are invited to pick up armfuls of goodies in the hope they will pose for a photo with their freebies that will make its way into the media. However, this one's wife might have to avoid such opportunities if she becomes a royal wife and follows Kate's example. The Duchess turns down free clothing and gifts from people she doesn't know. So back then, the Princess of Wales, who was then the Duchess of Cambridge, adopted the process of rejecting free items, free gifts, free clothing from people she didn't know, demonstrating discretion, demonstrating that she doesn't operate with a sense of entitlement, in effect operating with some class, unlike the grasping, grifting this one's wife. In 2012, the article tells us, the same year she landed her role in Suits, this one's wife was spotted at the Carrie Feinstein pre-Emmy Style Lounge, described as a paid opportunity for brands to seed product directly to celebrities and influencers, interact with members of press, and garner media coverage. Legendary PR Carrie Feinstein runs gifting suites at Sundance, the Golden Globes, the Oscars, the MTV Movie Awards, and the Emmys every year. And she explained to Business Insider that not just any Z-lister can turn up for a supermarket sweep-style grab of products. Usually a publicist will submit names, she explained. We deal with all the publicists and agents and managers before the event, and invites go out saying, please submit your client for our upcoming event. So they know it's not invite your client, it's submit your client. We do the filtering process and start approving names that make sense. At Carrie's pre-Emmy Style Lounge, this one's wife was seen posing with a bear-adorned romper suit and a book on how to do facial yoga. In 2009, she attended the DPA pre-Emmy gift lounge, where she was seen taking a load off in a beautician's chair while toting a number of bags full of freebies. The following year, she was able to stock up on beauty products at the Some Kind of Gorgeous Style and Beauty Lounge at the Chateau Marmont. In 2012, the year she joined Suits, she was pictured at the HBO Luxury Lounge featuring L'Oréal Paris and New Era Cap, where she was a marketer's dream. She posed with a L'Oréal product in front of a wall emblazoned with the company logo, homeopathic supplements, and at a stand promoting Magashoni cashmere shawls. She was also seen with a bag emblazoned with the logo of the clothing company Nautica, a bottle of Basil Hayden's whiskey, and Purity vodka. As recently as 2014, 3 years after she found fame with Suits, she posed with her goodie bag from the Marchesa Voyage for Shop Style collection. She's also been known to name-drop brands on social media after apparently receiving products as gifts. However, if this one's wife does become a royal wife, she might be expected to follow the example of the Duchess of Cambridge, who turns down free products, gifts from anyone she doesn't know, and discounts on clothing. And of course, as we know, she was not best pleased when it turned out that she was told that she couldn't accept these gifts. Instead, listen to how the former Duchess of Cambridge dealt with matters. Catherine point-blank refused to accept any of the hundreds of free garments sent to her by designers each month, desperate for a piece of what has been dubbed the Kate effect. If a particular piece catches her eye, she will instruct her private secretary come girl Friday, Rebecca Deacon, or another member from her small team of private office staff to buy it instead. The Duchess insists on paying full price for all her garments. While most celebrity clients can expect a substantial discount in return for their endorsement of a particular product, Catherine has instructed her staff to never pay less than the going rate. Kate and William also do not accept gifts from anyone they do not know personally, and send back presents posted to them, as well as George and Charlotte, along with a thank you note. Thus, a complete contrast of the way that the Duchess of Cambridge, as she then was, behaved in relation to the presentation of gifts and the potential for freebies, compared to the grasping nature of this one's wife. A comparison of the difference between the way that an empath behaves and the way that a narcissist does. This one's wife used to hawk herself around these gifting suites, picking up as much as she possibly could and posing for the photographs, as you have seen as I've been talking. But that behaviour hasn't changed. She might not frequent the gifting suites as she once did, but she's always on the lookout for a freebie. We've seen that in relation to her penchant for cadging a lift with people's private jets, indeed, even attempting to piggyback the Air Force One on a return flight from the Queen's funeral. She's known for wanting to get free accommodation, free flights, free admission, to receive preferential treatment. And as we've seen with the way that she behaved with archetypes, she in effect wanted to be paid a lot for doing very little. Ditto with Netflix. Thus you can see the Queen of Freebies existed all those years ago, and of course she was a narcissist then as she is a narcissist now, and nothing has changed in that regard. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.